Great eating habits for brain health, which will affect your sleep health. Hi, I'm Dr. Robyn. I'm back with more tips. We're going to jump right in. I was really inspired by this Jim Quick video where he talked about 4 eating habits for greater brain health. And I wanted to talk about some of those eating habits, add on to more of those specifically so we can get that great sleep that we need and deserve. So we'll jump right in. I think we did 1, 2, and 3 already. So number 4 is regular meal times. So regular meal times are actually going to help great with our brain health. They're going to help with consistent blood sugar levels, preventing spikes. We know we all have experienced that afternoon slump. So you won't get that afternoon slump as bad if you're having regular meal times. I have clients who come to me for the first time who say, I just eat whenever. I don't really have regular timing. No, you need a routine meal times to level out blood sugar levels so that you are filled with the energy to do all that you need to do during the day. So you want to have these regular brain times. And regular eating habits can actually have a really bad effect on your circadian rhythm. So we've already talked about in the previous video, you definitely want to have a cutoff for your big, large, major evening meal about 3 hours before bedtime. But you want to make sure you're getting breakfast in. If you're not getting breakfast, I know some people say, I just skip breakfast. That is not a flex to skip breakfast, because what's going to happen, you're going to have skyrocketing cortisol levels, and that is the stress hormone. So you're literally stressing the body out, and the body thinks it's starving. Don't skip breakfast. Have regular meal times to level off blood sugars for good cognitive ability, energy to do everything you need to do, and also to regulate that circadian rhythm for good sleep at night. Also limiting, number 5, we're going to talk about limiting caffeine and sugar. We talk about caffeine a lot on this channel. A lot of people don't realize, but caffeine is a literal drug. It is one of the most used psychoactive drugs on the planet right now. And with this, it can have serious side effects. Some of the more notable side effects that we can think of, or that are very serious, especially with heart disease being the number 1 killer here in the US, is that it can definitely affect your heart in a negative fashion. So you can see tachycardia, which is, increased heart rates that are really speeding up. You can see hypertension, which puts you at risk for a lot of other heart issues and diseases. So definitely limiting that caffeine as much as possible and having cutoff times for that is very important for your brain health and your sleep health as well. Your sugar intake, and this goes hand in hand with the caffeine. The simple sugars especially. We already talked about that those complex carbohydrates are really great, but the sugar intake is horrible and can wreak total havoc on your health. So we know that the sugar actually impinges on our immune system. It actually will stop your white blood cells from really activating when an invasion comes on, whether it's a virus, a bacteria, or fungi. So we want to definitely keep those to a minimum. It's actually not good for our brain health. It causes horrible spikes in our blood sugar. And then we have like a drop where we kind of lose all energy, we're exhausted. Sugar does this to our brain. So definitely something to look out for. There's so many great alternatives. We talked about number 1, antioxidants. That was our first one on our last video. Check that below. And there's natural sugars. So it's not that we have to avoid all sweetness of life. That is not the issue. There's great sweetness in grapes and mango and bananas. We can treat ourselves to some natural sugars that will not have that detrimental side effect that we see from getting in those simple sugars. Number 6 is including prebiotic and probiotic foods. This is really important because these help support our brain health. A lot of our brain health is dictated by how healthy our gut is. I'll say that again, which is so crazy because our brain and our gut, they're far from each other, totally different operations they're doing, but our brain health is highly, highly affected by how healthy our gut is. So the probiotics that are found in fermented foods, and these are foods that people have been eating for thousands of years. You see it in yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and these contain prebiotics. They're also in foods like bananas, onion, garlic, and whole grains. And these actually we have an entire what they call gut microbiome. And this microbiome is highly supportive of our life, keeping us healthy, keeping our brain healthy. And literally, we produce a lot of melatonin in our gut, so helping us to go to sleep at night. This is so, so important. So just to recap on today, this is part 2 of the foods we need to really eat and really be integrating for that great brain health and sleep health as well. So we're going to be looking at number 1 we talked about today was timing of the food and eating throughout today, having routine schedules for our breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks is so, so important for regulating our circadian rhythm. Next, we're talking about the probiotics in the food. That's so, so important of getting that because our gut health ultimately dictates the health for our whole body. And number 3, we talked about limiting that caffeine and limiting those sugars. So these are just some quick tips to get you to maximum brain health for the energy to take care of all the things you want to do and so that you can repair and rejuvenate with great sleep at night. Be sure to check out our free sleep PDF below. Just click the link below. Let us know where to send that to so that you can begin having good sleep tonight. Not next week, not next month, not next year. Starting tonight, you can get that great sleep that you need and deserve. We'll see you next time.